What is going on, everyone? This is EK1 Gaming here, and today's video we're going to be taking a look at what we've got to look forward to in the state of the game. Now, of course, one of the main questions is the rainbow loot, so we're going to talk about that a little bit and kind of discuss what's been happening or what's happened in the past with that. And then we're going to take a look at, of course, our speculation for Skyscraper and the new TU11 and the new PTS update, which is coming soon. So by now you probably would have realised that the Division 2 has a big issue with the loot and the loot quality, generosity, etc. And this is something that's been going on for a long time within the game. And the devs have addressed this a number of times before. However, they're addressing it again. Yes, you heard me right. They are going to look at this again. The problem that they've already fixed multiple times, apparently, they now need to do a state of the game to discuss it. So they put a little roadmap out. And now we've been asking for a roadmap for a long time. But what we wanted was a roadmap of content rather than a roadmap of what you're going to talk to us about on a state of the game. Now, of course, here is the roadmap, and last week they spoke about the appearance mods, which I'm not going to get into because that was a complete waste of time. And next week, now they're going to be talking about rainbow loot improvements. So when we're talking about rainbow loot, we mean when you get a piece of loot, say for example a Providence chest piece, and it's got one red stat, one blue stat, one yellow stat. Now, of course, we don't want that because at the moment in the game, there's very rarely a chance of using hybrid builds like that. There are some out there, but not very, it's not as prolific as it was in Division 1, where you could stack all into skill power and still do loads of damage, etc. So really, that needed addressing a long time ago. And they have spoke about it numerous times, and they've said, we fixed it, or it can't be changed, or it's just RNG. But now all of a sudden, it can now be improved. After them saying multiple times, no, it's out of our hands, it's just pure RNG. So now you're saying to us that it's not pure RNG and you can actually change that or improve the whole rainbow loot situation. Now, I put a video out in June about rainbow loot and how bad it was. And then, of course, they brought out an update and everyone thought, you know, they were getting this great loot and everything's fixed and it's all got better. And about a week later, after the maintenance, guess what? It goes back to the same trash again. Now, whatever they're doing within the maintenance is just reverting anything they did with the loot anyway, because you're just getting that trash loot. Now, I don't know if that's on purpose, whether they're just like giving us a bit of a, you know, dangling a carrot saying, oh, look, you can get really good stuff now. And then everyone says how good it is. And then a week later, they're like, right, they've had enough fun now. Let's cut it down and let's cut it off. I don't know what the truth is about that, but I just know that the loot right now is in a terrible state again. Yet when the TU 10.1 came out, the loot was pretty solid. You know, you were getting good loot. The RNG seemed a lot better. But honestly, I think that it's done on purpose. I honestly do, just to make you play the game and grind the game even more, because they have a lack of content or a lack of knowledge what content to even put into the game. So now let's talk about Skyscraper and the new PTS, which is going to be TU11 PTS. Now, of course, the PTS is a public test server, and I've played pretty much every PTS since God knows when. Now, there's always been huge issues on PTSs, you know, people finding bugs, people finding broken gear sets, etc. And generally, they're not too bad at reacting to them. However, some things they do slip through and they just don't bother to even fix them before the game goes live. It's almost like they kind of rush the game or the new update out. So they don't work on it. They just like, oh, we'll fix it another time. Now, another thing that annoys people with the PTS is it's only on PC. And of course, when we had Division 1, they did PTS on all platforms, which was fantastic for those console players and for picking up bugs that are console only, such as the blue screen on the PlayStation 4. Now, going into Skyscraper, what do we know about Skyscraper? And that's not a lot. We've literally had bare minimum of kind of information regarding what it actually is or what kind of game mode it is. Now, there's been some speculation that it's going to be just like Resistance. Now, somebody asked that in the chat, and it seems like Yannick pretty much confirmed it's just Resistance, but in a Skyscraper. Because the way he acted to it by saying, just forget about all the old game modes and focus on the new Skyscraper mode. Well, that's to me saying, please forget Resistance, because we're just pretty much re-imaging Resistance because we don't have any idea what to actually bring into the game. Now, I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's completely different. I did love Resistance, don't get me wrong. Like, I loved that mode. But if you're going to bring Resistance in, just bring it in. Don't call it Skyscraper. Just bring in Resistance 2.0 and then put it somewhere, wherever on the map, so we can go and do it. And people would play that. What we do know is it's going to be some kind of replayable content, because of course we were all complaining there was no replayable content, which there really isn't. I mean, the raid, you can keep doing it, but even that's limited to like one full raid run a week, because otherwise you're just getting no keys and etc. So really it's not that replayable. The missions are obviously stale now. We're doing the same missions over and over again. The legendaries now are just boring. Everyone's got the outfits, everyone's got the big horns or the weapons they need, and kind of nobody's really running those things anymore regularly. So we know two things so far. One, it's going to be replayable, and two, it's coming with the PTS TU11. That would indicate that it's going to be part of the TU11 update. However, is it going to be free, or is it not going to be free? And that's the big question that everyone's asking, including myself. Now, it would indicate by that it's coming with PTS that it would be a free update with TU11. But I wouldn't put it past them if they decided that they wanted to charge $10 or $15 for this as an expansion. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but if I was to hazard a guess, I would say there'll be some kind of charge for it, or some kind of money-making scheme around it. Whether that's you could pay to get, I don't know, exclusive rewards from it, I don't know. Or they're going to link something to the season passes, or I don't know what's going to happen. But I kind of think everything they do, there's always a monetary value for them behind it. So I'm not very optimistic about getting it for free, but I'm looking forward to trying it in TU11 PTS. Now, of course, on the September state of the game, they're going to be telling us when the PTS is coming, and then they'll be giving us information about the Skyscraper mode. So you're probably all going to want to tune into the state of the game on that date, even if it is literally just to watch that small section and then leave, because the rest of it's probably going to be pretty pointless. Now, what I want to see is obviously them show us it working on the state of the game, and then have any questions that people have got, have the answers ready. You know, like, I don't know, is this going to be level 30 and level 40? Because they haven't said that yet. Are they going to exclude non-Warlords of New York players? So if you don't have Warlords of New York, are you going to be excluded from doing this update or doing this feature? So there's lots of questions that they need to look into before doing State of the Game, and I really hope they do. And of course, is there going to be some exclusive rewards for gaining certain things within Skyscraper? Basically, are they locking gear behind it again? Now, people get annoyed because there is gear locked behind the raid. We all know there's gear locked behind the raid, and simply, you know, people are just getting annoyed with not being able to get raid groups together. They're relying on people like myself and other content creators who are putting these raid groups together to try and get people that gear, legendary gear, all that good stuff. Now, of course, we don't want it locked behind it. We don't want gear locked behind something where you have to get a certain amount of players in a team. So I'm hoping that they, one, have matchmaking on Skyscraper, and I hope that they'll be able to tell us that, obviously, on the September state of the game. And also, if not, can you do it solo? So do you have to go in as a team, or is there an option for you to go in solo and maybe it scales the NPCs or scales whatever the task is or objective that you're doing? Now, that would be a cool feature, and it would actually show that they're listening to the community, because a lot of the community do still play solo games. Now, for me, I don't have the problem of having to try and find a team, because obviously the community is absolutely fantastic here, and I try and take as many people through and play with as many people as I can physically possible in a day. Now, our clan, of course, is taking loads of people through the raid, loads of people through legendaries, or just generally farming gear, and of course, everyone's welcome to play with us. So if you're on PC, make sure you go and join the Discord. It is basically the links in the description below. Click that, pick your role, PC, Xbox or PlayStation, and then basically just type in general chat, introduce yourself, and then there's looking for group sections on there where you can pretty much just say, oh, I'm looking for group, for legendary, etc. Now guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Do not forget to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next video. Let's go!